Our next guests are Sis and SENAQWILA, mother and daughter. They've come in to share some traditional knowledge and help us to appreciate the world around us of wildcrafting. Here they are with Gunargie.
Today we have a mother and daughter in the studio with us, Sis Wyss and SENAQWILA. Welcome to the show. They are both Polynesian, Squamish, Stalau with a touch of Swiss, and SENAQWILA is Tsimshian. I'm very pleased to have them here today. They started off way back when, during the days of the community garden in Squamish, and then they were inspired to open their own tea house. And today we're here to talk about teas as a medicine and dandelions as coffee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gunargie.
Yeah. So tell us more about how you became inspired to open your own tea house.
Well, I think the humble beginnings began when SENAQWILA was pretty much a newborn, and I wanted to find a sustainable way of raising my daughter, and I wanted to do something that was very culturally focused. So I followed the Powell circuit, I followed craft fairs, blending teas and herbs, and I kept feeling like, wouldn't it be amazing to actually have an environment where people could just come in, and because all the different craft fairs I went to in powwows, people would say, hey, it's really great, but it'd be nice to try your tea. And, you know, the challenges in those environments are finding cables long enough to go out into the middle of a craft fair, and of course with about 30 tables or, 100 people running through there looking at things. It's very complicated to actually set something like that up and have people enjoy and focus on what tea is. So I've spent pretty much her whole lifetime imagining where could this be, where could I do this, and recently in my search for an art studio, I stumbled across this beautiful storefront, and as soon as I went in, I felt it. It was like the vision I've had all of her life came through the space. And
so it's been a 21-year journey for you, and it's just beginning for you, right?
Yeah. Well, growing up, I've always learned. To me, like, when my friends would be like, oh, I have a headache, they would always be like, oh, just take Advil, or like take this pill and like you'll be better. But for me, like, I was never comfortable with like pharmaceutical drugs. Like I just found it wasn't really my solution for any kind of illness. Like if I had a headache when I was young, or I had any kind of ailment, like lavender oil would really soothe me. And like we'd always, from my mom, I'd always have like a more like natural, holistic approach to health.
And then you're living in a traditional environment in Squamish, so that helped to grow, for you to grow as a medicine woman in training, really, when you think about it, because that's what you are, right?
Well, when she was 5 years old, she was, and I was getting my name, our family was doing a naming ceremony, and I found out she was outside walking people around from one plant to another and telling them what berries they were, what they were for, and I was like, what? And we came out, and there she had a little group of 5 people around her, and she was showing things off. I was like, wow, just when I wondered, is she paying attention? And at 5 years old, she was very focused, and having grown up with me taking her on as a baby in a backpack, to a toddler walking with me, to a young girl, to a young woman, always gathering medicines. And as she said, like, I literally, from when I was pregnant, through childbirth, through all of her different ailments that children go through, I used herbal medicines to help her with everything from, a common cold, through bronchitis, to chicken pox and measles. Everything was done with traditional medicines.
It seems to me like you've influenced each other in really obvious ways here. Can you tell us what these herbs are that we have on the table?
Yeah, so we have a community garden in North Vancouver. It's on the Hamilton village site, which is next to the Capilano River system near the Lionsgate Bridge. Do you want to talk about any of these? And we'll bounce off each other.
Sure.
Okay.
Which one would you like to talk about?
This is the yarrow, right?
Yep.
So this one is yarrow. It's really the woman's medicine, and I find that, especially as a young Indigenous woman, there's so many negative things I see of what my life should be as an Indigenous woman. Like there's missing and murdered. There's just so many statistics that I feel that I don't fit into. And with the plants, it's really empowering, I find. it's good for all stages of women, starting from like premenopausal, or sorry, from going through puberty. It's really good for strengthening the womb and strengthening your blood. So it's like for before you get puberty to when you are going through the menstrual cycle, it's also strengthening as well. And even for after menopause, it's strengthening for the woman's cycle and builds iron.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so
Every step of the woman's life cycle is yarrow is.
We only have a minute left here, so
Okay.
let's zip through this and then find out how we can contact the two of you and check out your website and support your tea house.
So we have comfrey, which is good, as the word sounds, comfrey. It's comforting. It's good for skin issues. This is mugwort. It's related to the sage family. It's one of the artemisias, related to desert sage. This one's for dream. If you lose your dreams, if you have nightmares. This is lemon balm, which I encourage you to smell and share what you smell.
Oh, heaven.
It's related to mint, and it's good for your stomach, but it's also a lot of these are these all can be used for skin salves. This is frog leaf, used for bug bites, bee stings. Mullein is, we use it in smudging for trauma, if you have trauma in your relationships, but we also use it for lungs, and it helps to release pain in the lungs.
Trauma in relationships, really?
Trauma in relationships.
Wow.
We burn it as a smudge, and it helps us to talk. That's why it's good for that, because it takes a person that doesn't
Releasing the
talk.
emotion.
Yeah,
to
First Nations
releasing.
people can use this while we're building relationships with the government.
Yeah.
Tell us where we can get a hold of you and what your website is.
Okay, so my website is indigenousplantdiva.wordpress.com. And we are located at 1875 Powell Street. We are awaiting our name in the registration forms, so name to be announced soon. And you can email me at ceasefire66@gmail.com. So CEASEFIRE66@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you for joining us on Access TV. Cease Wyss and SENAQWILA WYSS.
Heichka.
Gaelic Hansla.
Awesome.